Hey superstars, welcome to the Get Rich Without Being a Bitch podcast, and I am your host Vanessa Shaw for this journey. We're going to be challenging some stereotypes, shattering glass ceilings, really looking at what it takes to live richly and to design a business that's going to support the life that you really want to be living. I'm going to be sharing lots of tips, tools, and strategies along the way, and I can't wait for you to join me on this journey. Hey superstars, welcome back to another episode of Get Rich Without Being a Bitch. And we are continuing our series specifically for women-owned law firms. I'm going to share something with you today that is honestly so simple, a really simple way to gain competitive advantage that most law firms are not doing. And when I share with you, I hope your response is going to be, hey Vanessa, I can take this on right now, because it really should be. I was just reading through the CLIO report on legal trends, and they've got some surprising statistics in there. I'm going to read them so that I get them right here in a minute. They did a secret shopper of 500 firms to basically call in, see if they would take their calls, send in emails, see what kind of response time they got. The findings are really shocking. So let me just share with you. Out of those 500, only 52% answered their phones. Only 52%. That's 48% didn't even answer the phone. 67% didn't respond to emails, and only 20% responded to voicemails. Okay? Let me just repeat those again. I mean, they are shocking. Like my videographer, she's in front of me and she's got big eyes right now going, like, really? Really? Like, this is really low-hanging fruit. 52% answered the phone. 67% didn't respond to emails. And only 20% responded to voicemails. Essentially, if a client was calling in and leaving a voicemail, there's an 80% chance that they never, ever get a call back. And we also know as well that with law firms, when a client or a potential client is actually shopping around for law firms, if they get the right fit, of course, there has to be a right fit, like you can actually help solve their problem in their practice area. But if they end up calling in to a firm that can help them, do you know most customers are actually not shopping around? They will land on the first person that is responsive to them, and there is a very high chance of them hiring you. So these are such simple details that most law firm owners and attorneys are overlooking, right? You get busy, you get sidetracked. Perhaps you actually haven't stopped to really think about the impact of the client experience. Doesn't start at the signature of your engagement letter. It starts when that first interaction with you happens, right? How you answer the phone, when you answer the phone, how responsive are you? If they leave a voicemail, are you checking it? Are you calling back in a really short time frame? And I say time frame, I mean same day, not waiting, 7 days to call back. So perhaps you've just underestimated, right, the importance of these touch points, that when you're growing your firm, it is about, of course, how you serve your paying clients, and the customer journey starts way before then. You are losing a lot of opportunity with your prospects. And now they also have the tools to go online and leave really poor Google reviews or be in Reddit forums or wherever else it is that they are. And you're gaining a bad reputation in the marketplace. Perhaps you've got too busy. If you've heard me in other episodes, one of the biggest ways that you will get stuck in your growth is when you are the biggest bottleneck, right, to business. And you're not answering the phone. You're no longer answering the phone. You can't return calls because you're so buried in client work. Again, that has to be an indicator for A, better system, and B, getting some help. There are plenty of services out there, right, that can help you with these things, take some of these things off your plate. But you cannot risk playing with your reputation and clients that need help and this lack of responsiveness. So a key competitive advantage, as simple as it sounds, is responsiveness. And honestly, that is easy to put in place. Having a time set apart for, being available to answer calls, to return calls, to be checking emails. Having some tools and frankly, an online scheduling tool so that if, that you can pre-screen your prospects and they can actually schedule themselves onto your calendar for perhaps that initial quick 15 minutes, what we call a quick audit, which is really a screening call, right? To find out if you are a fit for them, if you want to work with them, right? And to move them to that next stage. These are some things that take a matter of, some of these things honestly take a matter of minutes to put in place, right? Or you could put them in place in under an hour. And you are leaving so much money on the table because you prioritize busyness and everything else and that reactiveness, that you are stopping doing the things right there that will gain you competitive advantage, that will create a phenomenal client experience, that will help you stand out in the marketplace. And I also know what happens when you do those things. You become really proud of who you are and how you're showing up, right? You become proud of your firm. You become proud of the level of service. You can truly start to compete on things like client experience, which many firms can't, in all honesty, right? They're not prioritizing it. So, quick recap. Are you answering those phones? Have you got somebody to answer the phones? And by the way, when you're answering a phone, don't let it ring for 12 times before somebody picks it up, right? Really, it rings 2-3 times. And now we need a really good response. And we need a response from somebody that sounds energetic and enthusiastic about taking the call. Not that sounds like the prospect is a massive inconvenience and or they're bored by that call, right? Just simple things. Have you got a system for checking those emails? And even if it is with acknowledging receipt of that email, as simple as that, this is a templated response, acknowledging receipt and letting that prospect know when you're going to get back to them. It's a huge, right? But that timeliness, that responsiveness, you will honestly stand out. And again, I know full well that you are going to be able to translate this into a dollar amount in your firm. You are most definitely leaving so much money on the table. And hey, I don't want to scare you, but it's a reality. If you're not taking that call, chances are they're going to somebody else. And it could be somebody down the street that's a big competitor of yours. You don't like the way they handle their cases and their clients. And you know full well that you've got a way better approach. And yet you're letting them slip through the crack and then running the risk of them running straight into the door of your competitor. Don't do that. Take the time. Do a little bit of a reset in your firm and put this system in place. So as always, superstars, I'd love to hear, what are you liking today? Like, comment, share. Please share these episodes as well with other women in business, other women that are running their firms that are serious about growth and scaling. These are such important conversations, and it will really help them to start to think about their firm differently. And always as well, if you are listening to this and you are a woman-owned law firm and you are wanting to grow and scale your firm and you want some community and you want some tools, I've launched a brand new free online community for women just like you. And we're growing and we've had some great feedback. One woman immediately said, in fact, she said to me on a call afterwards, she said, Vanessa, I was nearly in tears because I didn't realize how lonely I felt in my firm, how I felt like I'd been making some big mistakes and I was kind of blaming myself for it. And just how good it felt to be in community, to see that there were solutions to the problems that I was, experiencing. But not only that, to actually hear that I'd done some things really well. She said it was just so validating. Another woman shared as well. She said, I don't have anybody to speak to. We've grown, we're very successful. She said, I don't have anybody else that can help me. So again, I feel like I'm in my silo in this vacuum. So if that's speaking to you, again, we'll make sure that in the notes beneath this podcast episode, we've got all of the links there. Come join the Legal Collective. Try it out for yourself. Don't allow 1 hour on your calendar to be the reason for not showing up and not being there live. The live experience is going to be so much better than trying to listen to a recording that you and I both know you're never, ever going to get around to. And again, if you can't dedicate 60 minutes for something that is very growth-oriented, phenomenal resources, really learn some amazing best practice, and meet other women attorneys that you could potentially be collaborators with, power partners, refer business backwards and forwards, or kind of expand each other's network, then you're not going to be able to grow your firm. So this is my tough love to you today. Find that hour, carve it out, join the Legal Collective. Can't wait to see you there.